The Game gets the Arrow treatment, The Mask of Zorro and Bloodshot get 4Ks, and we have the top 5 Blu-ray sellers from last week. All this and more in this week's edition of the Physical Media Report. Stay tuned. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Physical Media Report. This is episode 3 and I am your host, the mid-level critic Ken, and today we're going to talk about some Blu-rays and 4Ks, the new announcements, the new releases that are coming out tomorrow. We're going to talk about some deals. I've got some Q&A questions. I've got a lot of stuff to cover today, guys. This is a jam-packed week for physical media, and we're going to get right into it now with the news and announcements. And the first thing I'm going to cover, guys, is The Game, a movie by David Fincher, and it's a film I've seen recently. I watched it a couple weeks ago because I have a Best Buy exclusive steelbook, and I'm doing a 1997 series on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on there, do that because I've been reviewing a lot of 1997 movies lately, and you should check them out. But The Game, starring Michael Douglas, is being released by Arrow Academy, and they're doing a 200-page booklet, a hard booklet that comes with it. So it's one of those big kind of, and I'm going to put the image up above, but it's one of those big kind of booklet deals, just a big kind of package deal type of thing. And it's not an American release. I think it's being released in Great Britain, but it could also be imported as well. It looks fantastic. The cover on it looks great. So that was kind of the big announcement that I've seen this week. And there's not a ton of real notable news this week. There is some interesting stuff that we're going to dig into. The movie Hair, a film directed by Milos Forman in 1979, is getting an Olive Films a signature release, and that's coming out on June the 30th on Blu-ray. We also have James Cameron's story of science fiction, which I'm not sure if that, I think that when I was looking on there, that's like an AMC docuseries possibly, and that's getting a Blu-ray release by RLJ Entertainment, and that's coming out on July the 7th. So kind of a documentary about James Cameron's career, kind of chronicling his work from The Abyss and Terminator, and kind of like from science fiction to science. And it's probably going to go into all the Cameronisms of his filmmaking process. So that would probably be interesting. I might check that one out. The next thing we got, guys, is the One Cut of the Dead Steelbook. And that's being released by RLJ as well. And that's coming out on June the 2nd. So there was rumors of this coming out. I believe I posted it on my physical media page on Instagram a couple months back is what I remember. And it's officially being announced as it's actually coming out. So it's a pretty nice looking steelbook. And if you have Shudder, you've probably seen One Cut of the Dead. It's one of the most notable indie horror films that was released last year, along with another one that we'll discuss a little bit later. Batwoman. I don't know if there's any Batwoman fans out there, but that's where the complete first season is coming out on Blu-ray on August the 18th. So that was announced this past week as well. And we have some new Shout Factories. None of these are real notable titles, but we'll discuss them because they are new Shout Factories, and I like discussing everything from that brand. And the first movie is The Road to Wellville, and that's being released on June the 23rd, and that's a 1994 film. And then we have Three Christs, and that's from 2017. I think I saw Peter Dinklage is in that one, and that's releasing on June 23rd as well. And then we have Princess Caribou, which is another 1994 film, and that comes out on June the 9th. So that's some new Shout Factories that were announced. Nothing too notable. But you know, it's Shout Factory, so I'm gonna talk about it. So that's all for the news and announcements, guys. We are going to move on to the deals this week, and there's no deals that are like super spectacular, but there's a couple of good ones that I think are worth noting. The Police Squad that came out a couple weeks ago, I believe I covered it on maybe the first episode of the Physical Media Report. The Police Squad, it's getting a deal right now on Amazon. It's $14 for that. So for a TV series, an old TV series from the 80s, it's probably a pretty good price. We also have the Cornetto 4K trilogy, which released a few months ago, and they got individual 4K releases, but then they got this set that's all together, and that was going for $40, and now it's $24.99. So that's a good deal for that. For 3 films, you got Shaun of the Dead, you got Hot Fuzz, you got At World's End, or The World's End, I think that's what it's called. All 4 of those are coming out in a set out on 4K. So for 25 bucks. And we also have A Fish Called Wanda. The Arrow set is on sale right now for $18.99, so you can check that out on Amazon. We also have the Mummy 4K Trilogy is $24.99 on Amazon as well, which is a pretty good deal. Anytime you get 3 movies on 4K for 25 bucks, that has to be considered a pretty decent deal. Also, a movie that came out a few weeks ago, Just Mercy on Blu-ray, is $14.99 on Amazon. And we have the 3 from Hell 4K, which is $14.96 on Amazon right now. So nothing that's just stunning as far as deals go, but you save a little money. And what I'm just now seeing that the Star Wars 4Ks are on sale from for $23.99. So I'm not sure what they were. They might have been 30 bucks. So they're now $23.99, and I can only imagine it's for May the 4th, so it's probably going to be over after today. So if you're seeing this late, that's probably not in effect. Same with all these deals, they have an expiration date on them. I cover them on this show because if you're watching it day of, you're going to be able to get those deals. If you watch it a few days later, they might not be in effect. But I'm going to cover them anyway because I care about you guys. I care about you guys getting deals, saving some money because, the more money you can save on one movie, that goes towards the next movie you can buy. So, the life of a Blu-ray collector is a tedious one, and we constantly search for the deals and all that stuff. And I just want to help you guys out, help you guys get a good deal. So, guys, before we move on to the next segment, I'm going to ask that you all, please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment down below just how you're liking the physical media report so far. I'm getting a pretty great response from all of you all. Some good views on the show, and the people that are watching the entire episode, so I do appreciate that. And yeah, I want to grow this show and this channel as much as I can, providing quality content for you guys. So please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. In addition to this show, I also do weekly unboxings and Blu-ray reviews. I do giveaways on this channel. I also have a show on Thursday afternoon called The Haunting of Mid-Level, which is a all horror-based show. You can go ahead and go on over and check that out. I'm going to be doing chapter 3 of that this week. And also, guys, another thing I'm going to mention, I have a podcast. I have a podcast with @UltraHDGeek, who is on Instagram and YouTube. And every Friday night, a new episode drops. So this past week, we did a review on Extraction. The week before, we talked about our favorite comedies, so definitely go ahead and check that out as well. So moving on, guys, we're now going to go into the top 5 Blu-rays and the top 5 4Ks for the week of April 9th through the 25th. So let's go ahead and get into these top 5 Blu-ray, guys. It's pretty straightforward. At number 1, like I predicted last week, we have Bad Boys for Life came in at number 1 as far as the sellers. Number 2 was Star Wars Episode 9, so that's still number 2, but it got bumped out by Bad Boys. And number 3 is The Gentleman. Number 4 is IP Man 4, the finale, so that was a new release last week, made it into the top 5. And we have Doolittle at number 5, so that is really hanging in there. That Doolittle didn't make a ton of money at the theaters, but it seemed like it's going to make some of that up with the physical media releases, because it's been hanging out in the top 5 for the Blu-ray releases for a while now. And now, guys, this is where things get interesting, because this might be a theme going forward, but the top 5 4K releases, they're weird, and they keep getting weirder, and I'm not sure. So number 1 was the Frozen 4K. This came out on 4K, I think, last year. I don't know if there was a deal on the Frozen 4K because I didn't catch it last week when I covered deals. But this accounted for 80% of the 4K sales last week. That is what Blu-ray.com is reporting. And that's just weird, right? Not Frozen 2, the original Frozen, is the highest selling 4K for last week. Number 2 on this list is Star Wars Episode 9. That's pretty standard. Number 3 is Joker. The Joker 4K is still hanging in there. People are still buying it, discovering it, enjoying that. So cool. More power to you. I love Joker, so I'm glad more people are discovering that movie on 4K. Number 4 is Rambo Last Blood. Like, that's a little weird to me. I don't understand why Rambo Last Blood is hanging in the top 5 4Ks, but all right. And number 5 is 1917 4K. So it's pretty much a lot of the same that we've been covering. but then you toss in the Frozen 4K, and like I said, I don't know if there was like a deal somewhere or something that happened to make that skyrocket, but 80% of the 4Ks was Frozen. I don't understand it, guys. I don't understand it. But all right, guys. So next up, I'm going to cover a couple of the things that I picked up this past week, just my weekly pickups, and then we're going to go into the Q&A portion of this show, and then we're going to finish everything off with the new releases this week, which is what I know a lot of you all are waiting for, to see what comes out tomorrow in stores. But first off, I'm going to talk about the things I picked up last week. So I did get the new release that came out last week. I got Guns Akimbo. And I haven't yet opened this one up and watched it yet, but I may be doing a Blu-ray review of this on my channel when I watch it. It just all depends on, if I had time to get that done. The next one up, guys, is I went ahead and finished off my Paramount Presents line with the Elvis King Creole. And I wasn't originally going to get this one. And we'll go ahead and show you all this little cool poster inside. I wasn't originally going to get this one because, to be honest, I love Elvis's music, but his filmography didn't really compel me enough to want to buy this. But I really want to collect every one of these. I just love this new series that Paramount's doing, so I went ahead and bought it. The next one I got, guys, is I went ahead and grabbed The Gentleman on 4K, and I do have a review and unboxing and giveaway coming out for this probably tomorrow, maybe late tonight. I might drop it tonight if I'm able to get it out there. But those are my new pickups this week. So a small but mighty stack. And so I may have more next week to talk about as well. So let's get into this Q&A, guys, because I got a lot of responses, a lot of questions this week. Way more than last week, so I appreciate it, guys. I love the fact that you guys are asking me questions, that you're interested in the stuff that I have to say about physical media and all that. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into the questions. So the first question I have is from Triboro Gigolo, and he asked me, what's a DVD or Blu-ray you regret buying, if any? So that's an interesting question, and when I really started to think about it, you see, I don't really regret buying any movies, because even if I don't like the movie, if it's like a blind buy, I'm still happy to have it in my collection. I still like just having it in the collection. So there's not a whole lot that I regret buying. There's ones that I wish I would have waited for, like the Texas Chain. I covered this last week on my Steelbook collection, but the Texas Chainsaw Steelbook, I kind of bought it at the FYE exclusive, but right before the Best Buy exclusive one came out, and I love the Best Buy exclusive cover even more, but I didn't get it because I didn't want to double dip on it. But so if there's anyone, I guess I maybe regret that, but then I don't, because I like the cover on that FYE exclusive also. But so I went ahead and just wanted to bring out maybe the ones that I hate looking at in my collection every time I see them. And I got a DVD copy of the movie, and I got a Blu-ray copy of the movie, and I don't know why, because it is my least favorite film of all time. And that is both the DVD copy of the Rob Zombie Halloween and the Blu-ray copy of the Rob Zombie Halloween. So I hate this movie. I'll go into it maybe on an episode of the Haunting of Mid-Level, but I'm not necessarily going to talk about why I hate it, but I'm sure you guys can imagine why, because it sucks. But yeah, so I hate seeing those in my collection. I think about throwing them away all the time, setting them on fire. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Triboro. But yeah, so I don't really regret a whole lot, but yeah, I hate the Rob Zombie Halloween. So let's move on to the next one, guys. And somebody asked me, I think it was on last week's Q&A question, but it came out after I filmed episode 2, so I couldn't get into it. And I don't have who actually sent it to me, so hopefully the person that sent it to me can comment down below and say, hey, that was my question. But somebody asked me what I think of the upcoming 4K set of the Colombian Classics, or Columbia Classics, and just my thoughts on that. So let's go over the contents of this set. So you have Dr. Strangelove, Lawrence of Arabia, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, A League of Their Own, Jerry Maguire, and Gandhi are all in this Columbia Classics 4K set. And it's a really nice looking box set. I looked it up, and yeah, it looks wonderful, just the presentation on it alone. I think it's like a little over $100. I don't know if I'm going to be purchasing that, but definitely a unique collection of films in here. And Actually, I haven't seen a lot of these. I've only seen Jerry Maguire and A League of Their Own, and I love A League of Their Own. That's one of my favorite films. That and I saw it as a young kid, and I still love that movie. So Jerry Maguire is a very good movie as well. Doctor Strangelove and Lawrence of Arabia, I'm very interested in checking out at some point because those are classics. Especially Lawrence of Arabia is always held up as one of the greatest films of all time. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, I haven't heard of, and Gandhi is of course a classic as well. But yeah, I if they drop the price point on that and it kind of fit my budget for the week, I might be interested in picking that up. But as of right now, I'm probably not going to pick that up. But definitely a unique collection of films, just past classics and more modern films in that set. So I think it's very interesting. It's a cool looking set. So if you're into that kind of stuff, I would definitely recommend buying that because it looks like a decent selection of films there. But yeah, hope that answers your question, whoever sent that. And let's get on to the next question. And this one's kind of a fun one. When I when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna make me do it. You're gonna make me break out the impressions on this week's episode." So let's go ahead and ask this question. And it comes from Respect the Classics. Respect the Classics. So let's do this, guys. Let me get into character real quick. And Respect the Classics asks, "What's the deal with region-coded DVDs? I mean, come on, you can watch them in this country, you can watch them in that country, why can't you watch them everywhere? I mean, come on!" That, of course, is my Jerry Seinfeld impression. He actually puts at the end of this, "What's the deal with region-coded DVDs? Seinfeld theme starts playing." So maybe I'll play that here for effect or in the background. But that was my horrible Jerry Seinfeld impression, or maybe it was good. I have no idea, but what's the deal with region-coded DVDs? Well, I think people put those on there to dissuade importing from one region to another. They want to keep their sales in their country, if that makes any sense. But I know people know how to change that kind of stuff around. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is. They should just let you watch movies everywhere. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Let's move on to the next one, guys. And Stargazer962442 just asked me, what's my favorite movie of all time? So not really a physical media related question. I would like to keep those to physical media related. But since it is Star Wars Day, it's May the 4th, I'm going to go ahead and answer it. It's Empire Strikes Back. That's my favorite film of all time. So let's move on to the next question, guys. And Netflix Reviews asks, what's your single favorite physical media release? Combo of movie, packaging, and features. So this was a pretty easy one for me because I've said this before a couple times on this channel, but this American Werewolf Arrow set is my favorite, like, set with the booklet and everything in my entire collection. Like, I love this set. It's beautiful. I went into it on my Arrow collection video, so you can go ahead and check that out on this channel if you haven't yet. But it's got an awesome poster in it, this awesome booklet. It's just an awesome presentation. Like, I love this set. So that is the favorite in my entire collection. So I hope that answers your question, bud. Let's move on to the next one. And MLE Galt 17 asks, are you getting Bloodshot with the Lodge and the Mask of Zorro? So I think I've stated before that I do plan to get Mask of Zorro and the Lodge tomorrow as part of my Tuesday Blu-ray pickups. But he asked me, am I getting Bloodshot? I don't know yet. I don't know. I thought about getting it on 4K. I know my partner on the Levels of Geek podcast, Ultra HD Geek, he's talked at length about how he thinks Bloodshot's great. So I really thought about grabbing it. And if I can find it for only $25, I might. But the thing is that Best Buy didn't offer a curbside pickup with that one, so I didn't pre-order it. But yeah, if I can find it when I'm out, maybe in Target or Walmart tomorrow, just doing my weekly grocery trip, I might go ahead and pick it up, but I'm not sure. I am interested in checking that one out, though. The next one, Shane.Movies asks, will you buy Goonies or Jaws or both and do reviews on them? So I'll definitely buy Jaws 4K and do a review on it because I love Jaws. It's in my top 10 films of all time. The Goonies, I watched that movie a couple years ago for the first time, and I'm not going to say I didn't like it. It was an enjoyable kids film, but I didn't get all the love and the hype behind it. I thought it was okay. I'm not sure if I'll buy that or not. I might. It just depends on what else is coming out that week, and if I have the funds for it. But Jaws is definitely a priority. But I don't yet know if I'm going to pick up the Goonies release. So that does it for the question, guys. I hope I answered them to your all's liking. And we're going to move on to the main event of the show, guys. And that is the releases that come out this week. So last week was really dry. And I was digging into some of the more like, secondary releases and stuff like that. I have a lot more stuff to talk about this week as far as mainline, so I'm not going to dig as deep as far as the Kino Lorber and Warner Archive actually doesn't have anything coming out this week, but all that more obscure stuff I'm probably not going to get into a lot of because there's a lot of big titles coming out. But the first big one, guys, is The Mask of Zorro 4K. That's the one that I'm the most anticipating. That has such an awesome presentation and cover on it, and I can't wait to dig into that one, into the special features, and just watch that movie again on 4K. I don't think I've seen it since maybe I was like 14 or 15. It's been a long time, but that's a movie I watched a lot as a kid. It's a 1996 film, I believe. So yeah, I watched that movie when I was 11, and I loved it. I think Antonio Banderas was awesome in it. Anthony Hopkins, that was one of his best movies. Catherine Zeta-Jones at the height of her career, she was awesome in it. Just everybody in it, the villain. I love that movie, and I can't wait to watch it again and see how it holds up all these years later. So The Mask of Zorro is definitely the main event for me this week. But the next one you got, guys, is Bloodshot. And it's getting a Blu-ray, 4K, and Best Buy Steelbook. So the Blu-ray is going right now for I think $22.99, and you got the 4K is pretty much $24.99 everywhere. And then you have that Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, which is pretty cool looking Steelbook. I actually like it. I'm going to put all these images up there, so you guys should be seeing them as I go through. And that's released by Sony. And the Steelbook is actually $35, so that's a pretty steep price for that Steelbook. I don't know if it's maybe going to be $3 off when you actually get to the stores. But like I said, I might buy that one. I don't know. It just depends on if I'm out in the stores or not, and it kind of grabs my attention, and I go ahead and buy it. But The Lodge is getting a Blu-ray release this week as well, and this is one that I've been anticipating seeing forever. I love moody, atmospheric horror films, artistic horror films that are divisive to some, and this looks like all of the above, and I can't wait to see it. It had a very limited theatrical release around where I live, and I never got a chance to go out and see it back in February when it came out. So I'm looking to pick this one up. I'm just going to blind buy it on Blu-ray, and I'm probably going to watch and review this week on my Instagram page and maybe do a review on this channel. It just depends if I had the time for it. So yeah, definitely picking up The Lodge. 47 Ronin, which is a movie starring Keanu Reeves. I think kind of like a samurai action kung fu movie. I don't know. I've never seen it. But that's getting a 4K remaster, and it's also getting a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook this week as well. So I'm probably not going to pick that one up, but yeah, I'm interested in checking out that movie at some point. I've heard it's pretty good. And The Incredible Hulk is getting a 4K Steelbook. I'm not sure. I feel like The Incredible Hulk has had 15 different steelbooks and covers in the past few years. I don't know why they keep re-releasing that one. I guess because it's Universal that's doing it, and it's not Disney that's behind it. But it's, I don't know why. The Incredible Hulk's okay. It's an okay Marvel movie. I don't know why they keep re-releasing new covers and stuff. So I think I bought the Blu-ray new cover on it a few years ago. But that's the only copy of The Incredible Hulk that I need in my collection. But couple other notable releases, guys. We got Gretel and Hansel, and I actually did a review for that on this channel back in February. It's a decent horror movie. It was okay. I didn't hate it. But again, it went along with the themes of this year. Just the disappointment of horror this year has been staggering. Just nothing great outside of The Invisible Man. A couple other indie films have been that good. So it was ultimately a disappointment for what I think it could have been. But it was fine. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. And that comes out on Blu-ray from Warner Brothers tomorrow. We also have a D-Day 4K, which is kind of like a, I guess, a documentary on the 1944 D-Day. So I probably won't be picking that one up, but notable. It's out there for you guys if you want to see it. And we have a Tigers Not Afraid, which is another Shudder exclusive, what I was talking about earlier with One Cut of the Dead. And that's getting a steelbook from RLJ, and that comes out tomorrow. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to pick that one up in stores or not. I haven't really seen a whole lot of that. I know you can order it online, but I'm not sure if that's going to be available at Best Buy or Walmart or anything like that. So it might just be an online only thing. And we also have the sequel to The Big Lebowski that nobody asked for. I don't even know why they made it because I heard it's horrible. But the Jesus Rolls come out on Blu-ray tomorrow from Screen Media. And yeah, that's just getting a Blu-ray release, so no 4K with that one. We also have from Lionsgate, we have Arkansas, which is some kind of a drug crime movie starring Liam Hemsworth. The cover looks pretty cool. I don't know if I'll ever get around to watching that one, though. Another movie from Lionsgate is a movie I definitely won't ever watch, and it's I Still Believe, which is another kind of Easter time Christian movie, the movie that they release every year around Easter, just to get all the Christians in theaters to watch it. And yeah, I'm probably never going to watch that one. It looks very corny and sappy, and yeah, I'm not into it. So Arrow is releasing a new set. We have White Fire, which is a 1985 film that is getting the Arrow treatment this week. Shout Factory is also releasing. Pretty much their only notable release this week is this Exorcism at 60,000 Feet. So if you're interested in that, which is, I guess, is kind of a classic cheesy horror film that takes place in the air, and Exorcism at 60,000 feet. So yeah. So I'm gonna look and see. We got a Japanese film, Better Days, is releasing by Wellgo USA. It's coming out on Blu-ray, so that might be available at Walmart. Usually they have those kind of movies come out. But that pretty much does it for the new releases this week, guys. And that pretty much does it for the show today. So I hope you all enjoyed this edition, episode 3 of the Physical Media Report. We will be back next week for episode 4, and the entire month of May is stacked, guys. So we got plenty of stuff to talk about this month, moving into the month of June. So it's going to be a jam-packed show next week. And go ahead, and if you want to leave me a question for next week, you can go ahead and comment that down below, or you can wait until I do my weekly question post in my stories on Instagram if you subscribe to me on there. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and comment down below what you plan on picking up this week, or what you're excited about as far as Blu-ray and 4Ks that are coming down the pike in the months to come. So go ahead and leave me all that, guys. Like the video. I hope you all enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next time.